This morning, Professor Fred Ogola, and we're going to be going through some of the stories that are making headlines in the dailies, and of course, our maiden political conversation later on in the show. Professor,
Yes.
how have you been since last show here?
So last week we told you that Manchester was going to play with Arsenal on Sunday, and I told you the
I
results.
dreaded this day.
Yeah.
I dreaded this morning.
Yeah. But you see, what's happening is why you should not worry is that Arsenal won dirty. Yeah, they won a game they were not supposed to win. Yeah, that's all. So for us,
For the very first time as an Arsenal fan accepting.
yes, we won dirty. Every statistics was against us. The targets on goal, our shots on goal were higher. But also there's something me and you can celebrate together. Forget about that one. Harambee Stars beat Zambia. So we don't have to
2.5 million
yes.
region.
Yeah, but also we don't have to go and play in Tanzania. Can you imagine if Harambee Stars was going to play in Tanzania, a stadium which is a 64,000 seater, and with the noise there, and with the Tanzanians not very much liking us in Tanzania, it could also be very expensive to go there. So our boys can stay at home and win their match against Madagascar, which they have won already. Madagascar, a country that is smaller than Kiambu.
There is always secrets in smaller things, my brother.
I'm telling you, but not on this one. This one, no. We cannot beat Zambia. Do you know the size of DRC? The population, that's the most populous nation in Africa, and we beat them. So,
but we weren't playing against the whole country, only playing with a select 11
but
players.
Of course, when you're selecting from that population,
then that is the cream de la creme.
That's the cream de la creme. We are playing from the 11 from the largest populous nation in Africa.
You beat them.
In Nigeria, went home. Nigeria went home without winning a single match. So Kenya, we are on a roll, and maybe this is the only time I told you again. Thank Mr. President for the motivation he has given to Harambee Stars, and of course, in equal measure, thank his brother Raila Odinga for attending all these matches. But the only thing is that we need more citizens to be able to buy the tickets and attend these matches as well, rather than curtailing the ticket purchase there. And I think that's the only problem I have. But nevertheless, let's work on the positive this morning.
Amazing. But you know, our dailies are always somber. Rarely do we find positive stories in the dailies. And this one is in the Standard is quite harrowing because they are talking about an insurance ripoff. Now, for thousands of county workers across Kenya, medical insurance cards are nothing more than worthless plastic. Now, despite billions paid in premiums, hospitals are rejecting patients, are forcing families into debt or despair. Now, these are the key figures. 33 billion Kenyan shillings what government owes hospitals, unpaid claims, 32 billion additional arrears under Social Health Authority, and they have also broken down a few amounts of money that counties have sent to insurance companies. There is here 76 million paid by Isiolo to Jubilee Insurance out of 120 million contract, 150 million paid by Bungoma to Current Direct Insurance out of 299 million contract. What is first, what do you make even of this story? Apparently there is not enough money in the health scheme, but then we are seeing leakages across different counties. And even the people they are paying money for, they cannot receive the services themselves.
Yeah, first of all, it's very unfortunate that Kenyans cannot get health services the way they should get. But there are two things here that makes me not side with that story. The person with that story has not done proper research. We call them a McDonald's version of a meal. You know, when you are hungry, you can go to your mother who can prepare a heavy meal for you, and you can have a full meal. But you can be in a hurry and pass by a McDonald's shop, or you can pass by KFC and grab something. That is not a food. Actually, you cannot be sustained by such a food. You lack a lot of nutritious value. But anyway, I'm not criticizing the fast food. What I'm trying to say, that's called fast research, fast food. It's just the tip of the iceberg. But to understand this story, you have to understand one thing, is that if they are claiming 33 billion shillings of unclaimed medical bills, you go back and says, how much does the government hold in terms of pending bills in healthcare? It's almost a trillion. You get me? So this 33 billion is just a small amount of money compared to actually what the government owes people.
Yeah.
I sit in the board of the Archdiocese of Nairobi Hospital. St. Francis Community Hospital is under that board. I used to sit in the board of St. Francis Community Hospital, which is not far from here.
Yeah.
St. Matthias Mulumba, just on this road. Nazareth Hospital, which is again in Kiambu.
Yeah.
You can go back to St. Mary's. All those hospitals, there are 63 health facilities.
Yeah.
What I know is that money is not reaching the hospital. Money is staying somewhere in the air. You know, when you send me M-Pesa, but it does not come to what is called confirmed you have received.
Yeah.
So the money must be in the air. So who is holding this money on the air?
Yeah.
So having said that, Alan, let me go to a solution. Last week, and in fact the previous week, I've always been telling you about this model I created, this economic model called Evolve. Healthcare needs to evolve. To what? Alan, do you need to have a plastic card to go to hospital and get treated? No, you don't. I was a student in Spain. I was only given a right to be a student in Spain, and by having a right to be a student, I had a right to have healthcare treatment in Spain for free as a welfare state. So there's a day I was sick in the morning. I began feeling unwell in the morning. I took it for granted until it was around 10 p.m. I couldn't breathe. It was during winter. You know, that was the first winter.
Yeah.
So I felt I was dying. Just a dial emergency. Ambulance came for me, took me to a hospital called Valley de Hebron Hospital in Barcelona. I was treated, and because I had no one I was living with, they told me, we cannot discharge you because you have no one to feed you at home. So they kept me in a bed, not because I could not go home, but because I had no one to feed me. Imagine. So I was fed for 3 days. Then they took me back home. So as I was there, I was really wondering how much money I have to pay before I leave. Or they are going to waniambia nichonge viazi. So by the time I finished, I was dropped home and I was not asked for anything. So I couldn't believe it. Now come back home. There was no need of sending money to Jubilee. The government knows how many hospitals are there in Kenya, isn't it?
Yeah.
Send medicine there. Send equipment there. Send doctors there.
Yeah.
Let Kenyans go and get healthcare and go home. Why are you sending money to somebody to make money? Are you getting my point?
Yeah.
So why should the county government give money to Jubilee and county government own hospitals? Are you getting my point? All these are scams. All these are scams, my brother.
Because the counties have hospitals that they manage within the devolved.
Yes. Why are they giving money to insurance companies?
So use the 100 million, go set up a proper hospital
Yes.
and let people go receive services there.
Why should your wife tell you that you didn't get your lunch because they sent money to Java and Java never delivered lunch to you?
Delivered lunch to me.
Isn't it? Your household has, let's say, your wife has got a household at home.
Yeah.
Shopping has been done, isn't it? Food is cooked at 1 o'clock. You eat or you don't eat. Food is there. Why should you be saying that money was sent to someone to drop money at food at home and they didn't come? All these are brokers. Alan, I told you that the problem we're having in this country, we need to run a lean and clean government. It's the same thing again I told about Evolve. Lean and clean systems. Why are brokers doing business with government and doing things on behalf of government? Like, for example, you saw now the importation of rice and sugar. Government gets brokers to import sugar and rice for them. If that doesn't happen, they tell you, brokers ran away with 100 billion.
Yeah.
Who are these brokers? Can't the government procure directly? Why are they talking about G2G on some things, others there is no G2G? So, Alan, let's be honest. If the government of Kenya wants to do proper service to Kenyans, we just need a fully furnished hospital with doctor, with medicine. And I can even add by telling you there's a problem here we have with devolution. I'm sorry, last day we had devolution conference. Some of these CEC of health, of education, of health do not know which kind of medicine needs to go to which hospital.
Yeah.
For example, as an expert in governance in healthcare, There's what talk about essential medicine, and that's called basic medicine. Basic medicine goes to level 1, level 2. Basic just means that if you want to have some basic kind of treatment, for example, you have a headache, let's say you have a bit of malaria, you have bacterial infection, those are basics. Basic medicine needs to go to those ones. While essential goes to level 4, level 5, and above. In fact, basic can go to dispensaries and health centers. But the essential medicine goes to high level. Now, when devolution has just taken place, I was a professor in Strathmore. Then I found that medicine which were essential were rotting in level 1, level 2, in dispensaries and healthcare. Because they were not meant to be there. You know, in a dispensary, you might find there's a clinical officer. A clinical officer doesn't know how some medicine should be administered. So even if you put medicine that clinical officers cannot use, they'll rot there. Medical officers, the second level. You understand? So these people had no clue, because before, medicine was being procured by Ministry of Health to all facilities in Kenya. So they'll go to Meds or they'll go to KEPSA, and they procure and take them there. Now, if you bring a CEC Health, who is a girlfriend of the governor, do they know which medicine should be brought to which one? Which appliances or equipment needs to go to which hospital? So all these things government is doing intentionally, Alan. They are not fools. They know. They know that chaos, they benefit from the chaos. Alan, you are taught something in business, which was done in business, I think in high school, that more middlemen increases the cost of the final product, isn't it? Do you know that in the factory, the Panadol you buy is 50 cents? 50 cents. Do you know that? At
production.
Yes, at production. Why do you buy Panadol for 30 bob or 50 bob? Because of middlemen. They have increased that somebody has to be rich so that you're poor. Imagine, Alan, how many Panadol are being used in Kenya? You go to any drawer in any Kenyan's home, there's a Panadol. So let's say that in your drawer, I don't know whether there are 20 Panadols. So if there's an average of 20 Panadols per drawer, and we have 56 million Kenyans, do you know how rich somebody is? If they are making 10 shillings per Panadol from you and from... So that's why you see some people are living above their means. For you are thinking God cast you, or maybe you are thinking you are not working hard enough. It simply means somebody knows how to earn money from every Panadol. They did 4 shillings, 5 shillings per Panadol they're making. Then this person is doing wholesale, 4 shillings. Retail, 4 shillings. Somebody transporting it, 4 shillings. Why don't the government go and cut a deal with the manufacturers? In fact, why don't the government manufacture medicine, just distribute them to the facilities? When you go to Spain, you go to Portugal, you go to Greece, you go to the Nordic countries, government manufactures medicine. Go to India. Why is it cheaper to go to India, take a flight, stay in India, plus your family? It is cheaper to treat you in India than in Kenya. It's simply because they are using efficient systems. We need a lean and clean government, Alan. But all these things here are created just to give you the perception the guy is working. Then they give you reports which are useless. If in the CS Treasury, in CS Health, Mbadi is not a health economist. You go to the PS, not a health economist. How can they understand the economics of distributing medicine? How can they understand the economics of treating Kenyans? In a government that I belong to, there must be at least a health economist, either as CS Health or PS Health. You cannot have just people's friends, cronies, and the rest running a Ministry of Health. Duale has moved to all ministries where he was in. He was in defense. Interior. He was in interior. Tourism. He was in tourism. Now he's touring in healthcare with no services being delivered. That's the problem. The problem is grossly incompetent administration and grossly corrupt administration. If those two problems can be solved and they become patriotic Kenyans, then all these problems are very easy to solve.
The Standard, of course, have covered the story of Harambee Stars beating Zambia to top the group, Group A. And the Daily Nation, Professor, varsity fees shocker. First-year students begin reporting to universities today amid the protests over unclear fee structures, including mandatory charges of up to 50,000 Kenyan shillings to secure admission, even as Higher Education Loans Board allocations are yet to be disbursed. Another story here, the National Treasury dragged into fight for shillings 60 billion police salaries. I think we have spoken about that story for the longest time. And Judiciary, Chief Justice Koome, top judges off the hook. The Judicial Service Commission has dismissed petition seeking the removal of all Supreme Court judges, including Chief Justice Martha Koome, citing lack of merit. That is a story that you'll find on page 2 of the Daily Nation this morning. Let us start with the story of the Chief Justice. What is the situation, or what do you think really is bedeviling our justice system in the country?
First of all, let me say that among the three arms of government, with all the problems judiciary have, they are the better performing arm of government. Yes, because
you're cutting them some slack.
No, let's be comparatively. For example, if you go to a school that children are doing very badly, at least there's a child who is number one. Even the worst school in the world, even the worst school in the world has number one in that school. So let's give it to them. Among the three arms of government, this is the only arm of government that is on top of the rest. Secondly, I've been on the street, Alan. I've been arrested severally. Young people are being arrested left, right, and center. If there was no judiciary, even this case of habeas corpus, all these things. So on human rights, judiciary is doing very well. Let me be honest about that. But on the issue of economic crimes, judiciary is completely in it. And it is highly compromised. So I can tell Kenyans that we need a reform in the judiciary, especially now when you hear such like cases. We are going to an election. Supreme Court becomes important. Justice Service Commission should be very important. How do you go through an election with such a kind of compromised judges? And forgive me to say the following, that judiciary has not been able to do most of the things which are needed. I remember the interview which was done between Citizen and former CJ Maraga, when he was asked that how do we cure corruption in judiciary when the challenge of missing files is still pandemic. And he said that he didn't have enough resources to stop missing files. Let me ask you, how much money do you need to stop people from losing files which are already in the record? How much?
Zero.
Money? So you hear if former Chief Justice, retired Chief Justice Maraga says that they had no resources to stop the missing files. Has Koome gotten those resources? And how much is these resources? So it tells you there's something pandemic. Also, I told you there's a lot of collusion between the judges and the lawyers to do miscarriage of justice, especially on commercial law, commercial side. Like now, so many Kenyans have lost property. Their property is being auctioned because the bank colludes with the lawyers and the judges to ensure they don't get this thing. And because those are people who have money, you don't see people going to court and making noise about it. But you see, if that, let's say, somebody who is useless somewhere like Fred Ogola is being arrested, then noise comes in. But do you know Fred Ogola also suffers commercially? But not just Fred Ogola, other people have lost property in this whole thing. So if you look at the people now who are fronting that case of Wakina Harvey, Wakina Grand Mola, all these guys, there's a time when they were defending judiciary. They have been members of Justice Service Commission, like Grand Mola was there. Now judiciary is rotten. So what did Grand Mola do on the rottenness of judiciary at that time? So you're finding that Kenyans are being taken for a ride in all this matter. But I can tell you that so many people are making money just based on law. And there's a need for the legal fraternity to come up. Last time I was in court, and we're in court challenging a very important case which is taking place in Isiolo, where the current clerk, no, the current chief of staff, chief of staff, the officer, the one in charge of finance, CEC for finance, is claiming to be a speaker of the same assembly where is a CC for finance, and I could be able to retrieve his pay slip where he earns money as CC for finance. At the same time, he's claiming to be a speaker, and we're in court. So when we're in court, I'm telling the judge that this case is important because these people have even gone to pass up a budget where there was no county assembly sitting. Every 16 out of 18 of the MCAs said they never sat there. They have produced a affidavit. And I was saying, please decide on this case and give me my orders immediately to stop this mismanagement of finance taking place in Isiolo. Then, the former president of LSK, Eric Theuri, I have to say this, comes and says that, that day was supposed to get a hearing, we're supposed to get highlighting and hearing so that you can make the decision. Then he says that, I'm sorry, I'm supposed to catch a flight, I'm going to attend LSK conference in Mombasa. Then the judge goes on to take this case again to September 4th because somebody is going to attend the LSK conference in Mombasa. Are you getting my point? Alan, how can justice be found there?
Never.
And that judge giving the former LSK president that he's going to attend a conference in Mombasa. I'm not saying a conference is a luxury. And in this same petition, LSK was interested party. How could you actually, and he's defending crime taking place in Isiolo, and he was the former LSK president. So are you seeing how the people are conflicted? Today, they are on the left side of their mouth. Tomorrow, they're on the right side of their mouth. How can we ever get justice in Kenya if someone has no stance? Alan, I'll forgive you if you have a stance and you are wrong. But I can't forgive you if you have no stance. Whereby today you are like this, tomorrow you are like that. Look at how lawyers talk. And lawyers think we are jokers. Go to my brother Sifuna. Sifuna goes on TV and he says that he cannot be able to support William Ruto because William Ruto is a killer. Isn't it? I'm not saying that he should support him.
Yeah.
It is good to say he cannot support him. Then he was being asked, so-and-so, he says, so-and-so can be president. The same Sifuna says. Then he's being asked, are you not aware so-and-so has also killed? Then he says, I will support anybody who can send William Ruto home. Are you seeing doublespeak?
Yeah.
On this side, William Ruto is a killer. That's why I cannot support him. On this side, there's another person who is my candidate who can win presidency. Then he said, I'll support him so long as he can send William Ruto home. So this doublespeak, I've seen them with so many lawyers. Do you know a lawyer can represent a criminal against you? And they're allowed by law, by the way, isn't it? At the same time, a lawyer can defend the right person. Maybe this kind of legal mindset has made them realize that they should not have a stance. They should only go where money is. So when someone says, represent me, I'm a thief, I represent you. Represent me, I'm right, I represent you. I'm not saying they should change, but I'm looking at myself and saying, can lawyers really lead this country? No, that's a big question. If you're a lawyer and you're allowed to speak from all sides of your mouth. Like imagine I was in the Ojwang's case. Danson Omari has been defending Gen Zs who have been arrested, have been killed and the rest. Danson Omari was now defending the offenders. But for me, I'm consistent. Yeah. Whenever I go to court, I will never ever represent anybody who has got violation of human rights. And of course, the law does not allow you to decide that somebody is wrong before their case is determined. But it is very clear, I'll stand on the side of the person actually who is being looked down upon. I'm also sorry to say I will not have to take those oaths of the law so that I can follow my heart. And that's why as an economist, I only go where things are wrong. So if you look at judiciary, these people are allowed to stand with a criminal, at the same time stand with the angel. Yeah. They can operate in the kingdom of heaven and also the kingdom of hell at the same time. That's how law is structured. That if the devil comes and says, represent me, a lawyer will represent them in court and say the devil should go to heaven, isn't it? When Jesus comes, they say, Lord Jesus Christ, we are with you. We should actually go to heaven together. So in this kind of mindset, you realize that judiciary is suffering from the same thing. Yeah. What is wrong, period. What is right, period. But judiciary doesn't see it. And at the same time, the issue is money. Do you know lawyers who are the ones who crafted the Constitution first of all, created for them jobs and even determined that they must be a lawyer to do it. For example, to become the chairperson of IBC, you must be a lawyer, isn't it? To become any commission, they need a lawyer to be
a part of the
yes.
commission membership.
Every job in Kenya, a lawyer must be there, isn't it? For you to do bank transfer, there must be a lawyer. Even now, Alan, if you just want to say you are Alan, you also have to get a lawyer to
stamp you an affidavit.
Yes, so does a lawyer know who is Alan? So like now, if you want to say this is my wife,
yeah,
you have to go with a lawyer affidavit. Why not the priest who did the wedding?
Yeah.
But also to get that affidavit to do the wedding, you need to have a lawyer, a commission of oath. When you want to take a loan, you have to do that. If you have finished paying the loan, you have to do that. If you want to ask to restructure a loan, you have to do that. So I'm not saying that these things are wrong, but now to whose benefit are these things structured if these people are not honest people? And the last but not least, if you look at how they usually pick these commissioners and the rest,
yeah,
I think there's a lot of influence of the state in them. Do you want to tell me without the influence of the former president, Uhuru Kenyatta, could Martha Koome be the CJ? No, isn't it? Now, we also have to look for how can the president, the executive powers, be limited to the executive? Because we are looking at a judiciary that should be independent. Why should the president appoint Chief Justice?
Yeah.
Why should they appoint these commissioners? IBC should be independent. Why should they be appointed by the executive? Why don't they be allowed to be independent? And the word independent in Kenya is the biggest joke. We should separate power, separation of powers,
yeah,
strengthen institutions, and the institutions cannot be strengthened. What can you do? And then there's a practice I saw when I was in London. Do you know, Alan, you cannot meet and have coffee with the judge. But in Kenya, you can go to judge's mess, drink with them, and you can continue to do, and after drinking with them as well. Whatever happens after drinking, only God knows,
yeah,
isn't it? How can we not allow, how can we continue allowing all this mixing grill, whereby you can eat meat, beef, then you can eat goat, then you can eat pork, then you can eat chicken, then you can eat, I don't know, duck in the same meal. This mixing grill in Kenya is also does not allow separation of powers. Some of these people own properties together. Some of them own law firms together, and then own business together. Then today you are a judge. Me, I'm a lawyer representing somebody, and me and you own a law firm together. So there's a lot of conflict of interest in all these things, and with conflict of interest, you really can't get justice. Yeah.
That sums up the dailies this morning. When we come back from the break, we're coming back with the joint meeting ODM and UDA are having this morning. You're going to be telling us what you think, Professor. And of course, the president coming out and saying that some of these members of parliament are corrupt. That's the conversation we're coming back with. Please keep it Science TV.